Welcome back to the Well Below Average podcast with Nick and Adam here on a Sunday evening. It's winter, fall now. It gets dark at about 5:30, so
Yeah,
um,
what time is it? Midnight?
yeah, it feels like it.
Gosh. Um, yeah, it does feel late. And we record this. It is 6, not even 7 Central Time. We usually get this done when in the summer we've got like 3 hours, not quite 3 hours of light left, and now it's been dark for an hour and 10 minutes.
Yes, yeah. I unless it's the Cowboys, I've kind of gone into the habit of old man falling asleep during the afternoon game. So I
Starts to
woke
get a
up.
little dim outside.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up and it was already getting dark, and yeah, and I'm home alone for the first time in like a year and a half.
Where you kicked the family out, or what happened?
I threw some cheese snacks out the front door and they went after them and I just locked it and like whatever. No. They're my sister-in-law, my wife's sister, is one of her kids is having a birthday party, bounce house, and they are Hispanic Americans and they party they party a little hard. So as I'm gonna sit this one out. Um, it can get crazy at those parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they all
Well,
left.
it's too quiet around. I guess there's animals around, but for the most part, pretty quiet.
Yeah, I'm an introvert, so this is like Christmas to me.
No, I agree. When
Yeah.
my wife and I first got married, living together, we're in our own routines, have our own jobs. Um, I would always get up early in the morning and like to go sit in the living room, like with my coffee, like lights off, like no TV really, kind of just maybe my phone, but not even really my phone a lot. And I'd get up and she'd be like, "Well, why didn't you tell me you're getting up?" And I was like, "Well, I kind of like, the time just to be alone. I recharge that way." And she thought that was so weird. So I get that. I recharge well by being by
Mm,
myself.
yes. Yeah, my wife, we have a routine now, been together for a while. She's like that in the morning. I'm like that at night. Like usually by 10:30, everybody's in bed. I'm don't go to bed till 12:30 or 1. And so I'll usually have the TV on low and yeah, walk around the house, play on my phone, don't drink coffee obviously, but yeah, have my nice quiet time.
Yeah, I totally get it.
So we've got an exciting episode. We have all the way from Canada, from America's Hat, Adam Reed joining us,
Old friend of the show.
old friend of the show. He's going to jump on. We're going to talk some. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I didn't really set anything up. We'll talk hockey. I'm sure he's a big hockey guy. Food. He makes a lot of food. We need to talk about his nachos. He posts a lot of
Hmm.
pictures of his nachos. They look good, but they're incomplete, and so we're gonna have to give him some Texas nacho knowledge. And yeah, so he'll be on here in a few minutes. So you want to jump into news and try to squeeze that in real quick?
Yeah, let's go
Or
through it.
yeah. Um, so let's do our sponsors real quick. Give them a couple of minutes here. I'll go first with Rodeo, not Rodeo, Local Menace. Local Menace is our apparel sponsor. They're a Dallas-based artist-owned streetwear brand hell-bent on destroying your wardrobe. They have t-shirts, hats, buttons, pins, sweaters, all kinds of cool stuff, patches. Really cool lifestyle brand here out of Dallas. Justin, the owner, is an amazing guy. He's actually going to start working on my logo for my company and start refreshing it. Great artist. So check out localmenace.com. Use code BEARDCREW to get 25% off your order, and that lets them know that we sent you, and they love that. So check them out at localmenace.com.
And then, of course, Rodeo Coffee, as you can see on the shirt behind Adam. Small batch roasted right here in Fort Worth. They have a coffee truck, trailer, not a food truck, but a coffee truck, whatever you want to call it, coming soon. You can catch them on Instagram, catch them on Facebook. A great Fort Worth coffee. They are blowing up. Jump on the train before it's too late because the Colombian blend Very, very good. That's my favorite. Good people. They're all over the place every weekend. So check them out on social media and tell them you heard about them from the Well Average podcast.
I should have gotten into the coffee game because, they say nicotine's a drug. So basically, aren't they drug dealers?
In a way, caffeine really is.
Caffeine. You're right.
I'm severely addicted to caffeine. Like if I usually have a cup of coffee every morning by 8 o'clock at the latest. If I don't have coffee, or I guess caffeine, but for me it's coffee, by like 9, 10, I get headaches bad.
Withdrawals.
I have to. Yeah, I mean, really, it's rough. So I get it.
It's a good business. I feel like some good places they could take that truck and make a lot of money. So look out for them. They're blowing up. And let's get into our news. The Well Below Average news. Explore Snore. We may not cover it first, but we'll cover it eventually. First up.
It gets me every time.
Gets you every time. Is Lost and Found. So these stories are going to be a little more serious, but this one's a feel-good story. So Explorer Snore, girl, teddy bear, united after a year lost in Glacier Park.
Well, now that I have a daughter, I feel like I have to explore this. It's a feel-good story especially.
So this is from Helena, Montana, a little girl who lost a special teddy bear she'd had since being adopted from an Ethiopian orphanage. Right, thought it was gone forever when she forgot it along a trail in Glacier National Park last year. Parents and friends held out hope. They say hope won out because through social media there was a big outpouring, and the park rangers apparently over the last year have been keeping their eye out for this bear on the hiking trails and have found it a few days ago and returned it to the little girl, Naomi Pascal, 6-year-old. She got her bear back.
So what I'm curious about is why it took so long. Like if the bear was there, not like this 6-year-old, or I guess 5 at the time, could have walked all that far. Like 5-year-olds aren't hiking an entire trail. Why did it take so long to find? That's what I want to know.
It seems like it's a combination of it snowed. She lost it about this time last year, so it got into the snowy season. And that doesn't help things. And, it's you tell a park ranger, hey, look out for a teddy bear. Okay. After months of seeing it on social media, okay, maybe I'll actually go take a real look.
Have your kids lost anything of significance like that, and it broke them, ruined their day, week, month?
No, but they have things, including my 17-year-old. That would. My 17-year-old has a teddy bear she's had since she was very little. And it's like I tell her, like, you go out to college, like live in a dorm. That might be you're setting yourself up for a ribbing.
Are you a sentimental, like possession, but keep things for just the memory? My wife and I are very different in this. I like to keep things as like a keepsake, as a memory of something. She, for example, will sell. Let's sell it. Like wedding dress, for example, would sell. That's something that we've gone back and forth. Like, no, keep it. Like, that's something. That's a big deal. Our daughter will want to see it one day, and she's like, well, why? I've worn it. I'm done with it. Whatever. So she's not very sentimental about things, but so I feel like there's not many things she could lose like that would really. And of course, she's not 6 years old, but you get the point. Where she would be upset.
I guess it depends. I'm kind of in the middle. I try to think, no, I'm not. But if my wife was on, she'd probably tell you I was. There are certain things. She is definitely, it's against certain things, like stuff like that, yeah, she'd get rid of, but I mean, I got a closet full of baby teeth, and if you try to take those from her, she's going to cut you.
Right. Yeah.
So,
maybe it's different when you have kids.
Yeah, so she's got her things. I got my few things. Now, our oldest daughter is very, very, very sentimental. She has I remember finding a candy bar wrapper, nasty trash, in her room, and I was like, why? And I was like, because she had gotten in trouble when she was younger. She's like 10 or 11. Like, we told you can't eat in your room. I said, I didn't eat in my room. I was like, what is this? She saved the candy bar wrapper her mom bought her when they went to the zoo.
Wow.
I'm
Must have been
like,
a special day at the zoo.
her mom takes them to the zoo like 5 times a year. I mean, I guess it is special, but they can't all be that special.
Well, good for the girl that found the teddy bear. I feel like I'm drinking a lot of water, by the way. I got my booster today, my COVID booster. So if I pass out live on the podcast, we know why. But I feel like I'm extra thirsty after I got it.
I have not gotten mine yet. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But next is Like the Movies. This is a little darker, a little more deep of a story. So workers at federal prisons are committing some of the crimes. Explore, Snore.
I honestly, the way you carried that sentence, I thought there was more to it. I was waiting on you there.
I did too. There's not even a period at the end of it. I'm waiting for it to appear.
It's like,
come on, AP
you're like,
News.
You're like Ron Burgundy reading off the teleprompter.
Exactly.
Let's explore. We'll explore 2 in a row here. Unlike Me.
Oh, yes, it is. Unlike You. So this is from Washington, I guess the capital. So they're finding that. So I think this was Washington Post news story has found that there have been many instances within the federal prison system that workers have been arrested, convicted, and sentenced for crimes. And they started looking at this in 2019.
Okay.
Some of these instances are a warden at a female prison for sex abuse had forced one woman to change in front of him repeatedly. An associate warden was charged with murder, guards taking cash to smuggle drugs and weapons, and then property managers stealing, tires and tractors and stealing equipment.
I mean, we're not all that surprised by this. Like, we've seen movies and TV shows, and this stuff happens in those. So why wouldn't it happen in real life? Disappointing for sure. And our great criminal justice system in this country. Very disappointing. It's just the upstanding criminal justice system. I'm being sarcastic, obviously, but disappointing, but sadly not surprising, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Well, and it's not. But you think the stuff in the movies is going to be embellished, but it seems like it's not.
Yeah.
It's very much stuff like that, smuggling in drugs. You got one case in Mississippi, a worker whose job was to investigate misconduct of other staff members was charged with stalking and harassment of employees, but still kept his job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of just ripe with it. There have been 41 arrests from the Department of Justice Department employees in 28 since 2019. Sorry. 2019, 41 arrests within the Department of Justice, and 28 have been prison employees.
Disappointing,
Yeah.
but not as good as the teddy bear story.
No. And so next story, not really a story, but just more of and you kind of brought it up. Kids 5 to 11 can be vaccinated now.
Yeah, big news. And this is not just, is it just Pfizer or is it or Moderna?
I think it's Pfizer and Moderna right now.
Yeah, I think both of it, not the Johnson & Johnson, not the single dose. But yeah, 5 to 11, it's a big deal. I feel like I will be curious to see what the numbers look like how many people have their kids get vaccinated. But certainly a big step.
100% of the people you do a podcast with have their kids vaccinated.
Well, your oldest already had gotten, correct?
Fully, yeah. Both shots, fully vaxxed. So my 2 youngest, 9 and 11. 9 and 10. Oh, really? 9 and 10. have just got their first shot, and they'll get their second one after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
They didn't get sick, which I was kind of, we did it on a Monday, and we're still doing their school at home, so I kind of overloaded them on Monday that day to prepare for them to be sick, so we took a Tuesday off.
Well, did your oldest get any side effects?
I don't recall. I don't think so. I got it bad. Like I was.
I did too. I got I had 12 hours of the flu is what it felt like. Hardcore, like
too.
Yeah, chills, fever, aches. But 12 hours later it was done. But yeah, and I was talking to the guy, I was at a pharmacy, the guy who gave me the booster today, and he said, it's essentially like half the dose of one of the first ones. He said, so you might get some side effects, but it shouldn't be as bad as the first ones that you got. So we'll see.
Did you get it today or yesterday?
Today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got it this afternoon, so it's only been a few hours.
All right. Well, let's hope you make it through the show.
Yeah. So my I haven't had time to go blind yet. The side effects.
No, I think you turn into zombies, is what I've heard.
Oh, right. So luckily you're on the other side of a screen, so I won't be able to,
Yes.
I guess eat your brain. The more people, not to be a propaganda show, the more people that we can get vaccinated, the better I'll feel. That's for sure. I know, we're going to be spending time with family over the holidays, and everyone that we'll be with will be vaccinated, which is, a great feeling. Especially for family members that are older, they're at a very high risk. Like if they got COVID, because if I got it, it probably wouldn't be that big a deal. But that's not really the point. The point is the people that, if they do get it, it's a very big deal. So, the kids 5 to 11, getting their vaccine.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Hopefully get them back into real school and I can actually have a life. Last story, explorers snore, one of the country's most wanted fugitives identified after more than 50 years.
Man, we're gonna explore all 4 stories here. I'm interested in this, and I have no idea, I haven't seen this story at all.
Okay, so I'll go fast because we got a few minutes still we gotta get Adam Reed on, but begin the story. So in July 11th, 1969, a bank in Ohio was robbed. The 21-year-old teller, so it was just a bank teller, was 20, stole $215,000, which today is equivalent of $1.7 million.
Wow.
So he did this on a Friday. They opened back up Monday. Noticed the money was missing. Noticed the worker didn't show up. And all they knew was that the young man, Conrad, what was his name? Conrad, I guess that's his first or last name. Why am I not seeing it? I'm doing a terrible job here. Conrad, they call him, was apparently a huge fan of the Thomas Crown Affair, Steve McQueen movie about bank robbery. 20 years old in 1969, stole some money, disappeared, not a trace.
And now caught in his early 70s?
Was identified 52 years later, obviously. So now, 5 months after his death.
Okay, man, good for him. Got away with it the entire way. Who knows if he was able to live a life with that money? But if you're gonna do it, don't get caught.
So he changed his name, Conrad Rendell. He changed his name So he changed his name in the 60s apparently, and moved into a suburb in Lynnfield, Massachusetts in the 70s, near where that movie was filmed, and lived an unassuming life. He died at 71. Apparently worked just normal job the whole time. Guess it was more just of a thrill-seeking moment.
He was one of the nice bank robbers. He wasn't trying to hurt anybody. He didn't I mean, he probably used that money, invested it in his local community, had a decent job, was just a hardworking guy. So I have no ill will towards him.
Yeah, and the investigator that was still on the case, so it was a cold case, but it still had people assigned to it, was the son of the original marshal from Ohio. And apparently his dad, the John Elliott, the original marshal, had been on the case even after his retirement, up until the original marshal investigating died in 2020.
Wow.
Never knowing, so it's one of those for the marshal, the son anyway. It was like, it's kind of bittersweet.
Yeah. Well, wonder. I wonder how they found out. Like, if he had a fake name and lived with it for all these years, fake identity. Curious how they finally connected those dots.
Yeah, and apparently it came from documents from his college days that led to the identification. It doesn't specify what specifically happened, but yeah, there's just some documentation came to light after his death. I guess certain things become public after you die, and they're not catching
the truth,
him now,
I guess. Yeah, they're not. They certainly are not, and I wonder if any of that money is still around, like he invested it and it's in his estate or something like that. I'd be curious to know, or if he spent it all to settle in his new life.
Well, because he didn't work any like big job. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like a very like, sorry. It wasn't like he was
just like an unassuming person, really.
Yeah, so unassuming person, and yeah, so probably afforded him the ability to work kind of like, I didn't see where it was said, bowling alley or whatever, just to, get a job you want. You got a little nest egg behind, and there's
if you were this guy and you had to like start over, and say for the sake of this discussion you had no family, not that you don't love your family, of course, would you where would you move? Like just a state, and then what kind of job would you get?
I feel like I would go to like somewhere East Coast, Maine, New Hampshire, maybe if I'm on the coast. I would like open, like, it sounds real dumb, it's just like a little general store, just be a shopkeep.
Like almost like just like a convenience store, or like a general store, like has kind of a little bit of everything, like that you see in these like old downtown squares. Like there's not really a purpose, like they just got all kinds of stuff.
I'm thinking more like, something close to like maybe like on a Maine beach town.
Okay.
Tackle and bait, and have kind of like the last little store there before you get to the dock, and you can pick up your bait and tackle and a 6-pack, right, and whatever.
We should start asking this question to every guest. We'll start with Adam. I would ask, or I would probably move somewhere like, actually we talked about this earlier, somewhere like Montana, like big sky country, like very sparsely populated, not a lot going on, and maybe just, I don't know, find a very menial job that I could like work at a place, like just entering numbers, like just punch the clock, spend a lot of time at like the local diner, drinking coffee and shooting the breeze, but just kind of move to like a small town, like a big, like Montana is a good example. One of the Dakotas, maybe, something like that. But I think that's a good question we should ask. If you were to rob a bank and get away with it and had to change your identity, move somewhere and get a job, what state or where would you move? And then what would you do? I think that's a very, very good question for future guests. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, we're waiting on Adam Reed to join us from Canada, from exotic Canada. We're going to go ahead and do a Nick Hates It while we wait. We may get interrupted. We may not. We may let him join in on the phone. So go ahead, Nick.
Yes. Yeah, we'll let him jump in here. Hey, thanks, Adam. So this one is very seasonal. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the show, but daylight savings time. It's not the best. You know, we fell back. What was that, last week, and lost an hour, and now it gets dark. I mean, it starts like dimming at like 3:30 in the afternoon,
Yes.
and it's finally the sun sets at like 5:30. And it's just dark forever. Now, I will say it is nice, like the sun coming up a bit earlier in the morning. Like, I like that. But, man, it is terrible that it is dark by 5:30. It's just awful. And I don't know why we still have it. Like, I guess the reasoning for it, or at least why it was started, was like for farmers or something like this. But it's like largely unnecessary, I feel like now. Like, what's the point? Like Arizona, I think, is a state, like, they don't have it.
No.
Why should we? I can't stand it. And every year I think, oh, it's not that bad. I don't really mind that much. But, man, it is not fun. As I get something in my eye here. That's the world going against me, like, for going at daylight savings time. But, like, I was driving home tonight. I went and got my booster late this afternoon, stopped and got some dinner, and was coming home. And it was, like, just after 5, like 5:15, 5:30, and it's already getting dark, and it's like already dark, and it's just a drag. It really is just a drag.
Yeah, it's. I think as I'm getting older, it's starting to affect me more. Before, I guess I didn't really care, but yeah, now notice, like, man, it feels late, and I look at the time, and it's 7:15. I'm like, man, I like, and I told you before, I don't go to bed till like midnight. After midnight, so man, I got like 5 more hours of this.
Yeah, like we last night, we went to baby shower, like late in the afternoon, and it ended at like 6, and it was a 30-minute drive or so. So we're driving home, and it's already dark, and we're like, 30 minutes. We're getting like pulling in our neighborhood, and my wife and I are both saying, like, it feels like it's like 9. It was 6:30. And of course, our baby fell asleep on the way home. So then we get home and she wakes back up, and then we have to put her back down for bed. And it just like, it throws off everything. And so I can't stand it. I do like that it gets, the sun comes up slightly earlier. That's enjoyable, but the darkness in the evening, it's just rough.
Yeah, and I guess that's the only benefit is the morning. It's not dark till 8 in the morning, I guess, is the one thing we're trying to avoid.
I don't know. I don't know why they do it or anything like that.
I think, we're starting to become more of a tech economy with more work from home people. I think we need to adjust our calendars for those people,
Right.
It's
right.
There's like 8 farmers in the world, I think.
What do you think is the best time zone related to time? I think Central might be it. Like, if you think about TV viewing, sports game viewing, like just like the NFL Sunday, noon and 3:30, like, it doesn't get much better than that. Now, I will say, I envy the West Coast, like the night game starting at like 5:30, because then it's over and it's not even 10, and you've still got some time, especially like on a Monday or Thursday. But outside of that, I think Central's makes a strong case.
So I was stationed on the West Coast in San Diego for 4 years, and it's better because
really,
that's the thing people don't realize is, like, yeah, shows start here, our primetime television shows and all that. It's adjusted. It doesn't start primetime doesn't start at 4 o'clock. It starts at 6. It starts at the same time as Central Time. Relatively.
Except for live programming.
Live events. But yes, on Sunday, like, you wake up Sunday, kickoff is at 10.
Yeah,
so
that'd be great.
You wake up, you grab breakfast, and it's just football, and it's done by 9:30 or 10.
Yeah. I envy that part for sure.
Yeah, it was very nice. And then, all the programs, like, that's why you'll hear, like, on the live, like, everybody, after the game, we'll have whatever, Full House, live new episodes, except on the West Coast, because it's still, they're not going to start it at 4:30 in the afternoon. So you're going to get local news, you're going to get your local shows, and then your primetime shows will come on at primetime.
Yeah, I think the West Coast, although Mountain Time might be a nice like happy medium for that small sliver of the country, but Eastern Time, oof, like Monday Night Football, 8:30, like that's disgusting to me. And it's so much, and like, most of my wife's family lives in the eastern part of the country, and so if we go visit, like on a Sunday, the early games at like 1, and then your late games at 4:30, and then you're not even starting the night games like 8:30. It's like, speaking of daylight savings time, it's like 4:30, and typically here we're like, oh, it's the afternoon, and like it already feels like it's like late in the like evening at that time. So it's real bizarre, but yeah, Eastern Time, not for me. Central is nice. I will say that, but the West Coast, maybe I've underestimated it.
I think it's Arizona because it doesn't have the daylight savings time. It's got the mountain time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking Arizona might be it. Not that I've spent too much time in Arizona.
I've never been to Arizona. Not even driven through it.
I've been to Yuma, but I wasn't really worried about the times. And so we are still waiting on Adam Reed. I haven't heard anything. I sent him an invite, but we're gonna keep trucking along until he joins us. If he doesn't, we'll get him on next week. Let's move on to our TV talk. There's been exciting developments in the television world, and we'll jump to. And if you haven't caught, on Tuesdays, I put out a little entertainment minute or two. We talk about the box office numbers for the weekend, what movies are coming up on the streaming services, the bigger stuff. I try to pack it in. I go a little too fast, and it's all kind of chaotic. But put that out on Twitter and the YouTube channel, so check that out on Tuesdays. But right now, Friday was Disney Plus Day. Are you a Disney Plus guy?
Yeah, we have it. We split it with a family friend. Like, we just do whatever the longest you can pay for it, and when we split it, it's like very reasonable. Mm-hmm. And we haven't watched a ton of the original program. We did just watch Jungle Cruise, the movie with The Rock. Like, not terrible. I mean, just like a feel good, like Disney. If you're a Disney parks person, like, there's a Jungle Cruise ride. And that's where it gets like its inspiration. And there's some small like things in there that make you think the ride. So that's fun, but enjoyable movie. But yeah, we're on Disney Plus. I would say we use it a moderate amount.
Okay. Yeah. And I was big. Something I talked about on my little Tuesday segment I put out. It was. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Shang-Chi, the latest besides the Eternals, MCU movie came out. Jungle Cruise, which I watched last night.
Do you like it?
I liked it. It was not what I was expecting at all. I don't know if it's a spoiler. The supernatural elements of it, I was not expecting.
I wasn't expecting that either, to be honest. But it was enjoyable, like, for what it was. Yeah. Like, it was fine. Did your kids watch it?
Oh, the second I told them Friday it was Disney Plus Day, my son went and watched the Home Alone reboot, and my daughter went and watched Disney Plus in another room. And I'm like, we're not waiting.
Did you watch that with him?
No, he just went and watched it. And
it looks so terrible. I mean, it looks so bad.
I could hear him laughing so hard.
I guess that's what they're after,
Yeah, he's 9 years old, and he would just come and tell me the scenes. Oh my gosh, Dad! And he was trying to push her up, and she farted on him, and he would just start laughing. Yeah.
Now, has he seen the original Home Alone?
Yes, he's seen the original.
Does he like that one?
Yes.
Okay.
He's all about that, I mean, I guess I was probably 7 when that came out. The original, 1990. Is that right? 91.
I think 91.
91. So I would have been about his age, 8. So a little bit younger, and that was So he's laughing at the same things for the same reasons I was. So
yeah. Home Alone holds up. I mean, it still holds up. But that new one, I don't think I'll be watching it.
Buzz is in it.
Really?
Yeah, he's on the. I don't know if he's playing Buzz, but that actor, he's on the. Like, if you look at the title card, he's there.
Speaking of Buzz, different Buzz, but Disney, Buzz Lightyear. Did you see the trailer for the new Buzz Lightyear movie that they're going to make? It's like Space Ranger or something. Speaking of Disney Plus, it's not coming. It's not coming out for a while, but they're like doing the backstory of Buzz Lightyear.
I haven't seen the trailer. I've seen like the concept. I've seen like pictures and concept art and stuff like that of it. Looks weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Disney does a lot of good things, a lot of cool things. Sometimes, I don't know. There's some reaching from time to time.
Yes. Yeah. One thing I've heard is I know you're not into the MCU stuff, but Miss Marvel, the MCU show that's supposed to come out, it's starring Miss Marvel, but it's going to be the first Muslim American superhero. Yeah. Kamala Khan is her name. In the comic, she's like a stretchy person. She can stretch and make herself bigger and smaller. And I guess they were saying that's real similar to Reed Richards' Fantastic Four. He does the same thing. And they got that coming out, so they made her they changed her powers. And in the preview that came out, the teaser, people were real unhappy. And now they've pushed it back. And they're saying they're reshooting to get her powers more accurate with the comic book, because people are getting upset.
I can understand that. Comic book people, they're serious about that kind of thing.
Yeah. But no, it was exciting seeing all the new movies. I haven't gone through all the trailers yet. She-Hulk, all the Marvel stuff that's coming out, the Obi-Wan, the Star Wars stuff looks amazing. Real excited about that. And yeah, more Marvel stuff. Just to whip you a little more, I saw the Eternals.
I think let me just take a nap during this. I think the booster's getting to me.
Yes. It's affecting your ability to concentrate. Eternals dropped. It's been very polarizing. And it's sad to say it's a lot, because the main character is an Asian American woman. It features an African American gay man as one of the main characters. It hits all the things that is not typically what you see in a comic book movie. It's the white hero saving the day. So there's a lot of that kind of blowback from it, and it's not the best Marvel movie. It's really good. It really kind of sets the tone for the direction they're taking Marvel. It's going to be less Avengers and more like grand cosmic. It's going to be more. They're going to be more space type adventures and things of that nature. I thought it was a good movie. Are you a Game of Thrones fan at all?
Haven't seen it.
Okay. Anybody Game of Thrones fans out there that haven't seen Eternals, you have the actors that play Robb Stark and Jon Snow, two of the main characters. They're brothers in the show, who fight the Queen Cersei all the time in the show. Well, the main character of this show is Cersei, and they're both her love interest, and both of them profess their love to Cersei, which is kind of weird seeing after you watch 10 years of a show, they're fighting, they hate Cersei, and now they love her. Game of Thrones fans will find that interesting.
This might not be surprising to you, Adam. Part of the reason I never got into Game of Thrones, that was just kind of the peak of, first of all, had no access to watch it. Didn't have HBO.
HBO, yeah.
Second, I was always working on Sundays when it was on, would be live, Sunday night. But third of all, and this is probably the bigger thing, and my wife hates this about me, so this could be Nick hates it, but her edition. I don't like things that everyone else likes. So, I've never watched Game of Thrones, in part because everyone says how, everyone loves it so much. My wife, it drives my wife up the wall. I just like to be different. Not, I don't want to fall in line. And I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a small part of it.
Yeah. Heck, I didn't watch it till it was already over. Again, same reason. I never watched it because I didn't have access to HBO. I actually did a podcast back then with my brother, and I always wanted to record on Sundays. He was like, we had to wait till Game of Thrones was over to record, so we were recording at 11:30 at night. No, he was he you love Game of Thrones. But no, it's a good show. Just wait till it dies down and go watch it.
Maybe
And
eventually.
there's a cool show I just want to talk about on Netflix. It is definitely adults, not for the kiddies. Inside Job. Have you heard of this?
I haven't heard of it.
I just popped up on my thing on Netflix. It's animated, and it's funny because it is just a hard poke fun at the QAnon alt-right. Basically, it takes place in this bureau that, they worship Satan and sacrifice goats to get the Dow Jones to go up. They build robot presidents. They, the lizard people fund them, and they have to go to these balls and fancy banquets under Yale, where the real Yale is, run by lizard people. And it's just all these, every QAnon kooky conspiracy theory you can think of. They're just jabbing at it real hard. It's pretty good.
Speaking of, did JFK Jr. ever show up last couple weekends ago? I think they're still hanging out there, holding out hope.
Not that I think that would have been newsworthy. I think that would have broke pretty.
That's fair. That is fair. They would have said something about that. No, I haven't seen that, but I'll have to check it out. I love a good. I guess I don't know what you'd call it, but poking fun.
Yeah.
At, something.
It's pretty funny. And do you want to do debate? I do have a small debate topic, but I kind of feel like we're going to agree. Or maybe we won't.
Let's do it.
All right. Our well below average debate this week is, since we're in the holiday season, past Thanksgiving, we have a group of people that believe that it is okay to start throwing their Christmas stuff up and Christmas commercials and all that good stuff. Now, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Is that strictly after Thanksgiving, or do we do that right after Thanksgiving or Halloween?
So I have lightened slightly on this. I am okay with Christmas advertising, on TV, because people got to get their gifts. We're planning ahead. However, decorations, music, even Christmas scents, so to speak, that doesn't belong anywhere close to me until after Thanksgiving. I cannot stand this over-saturation of Christmas. Everybody loves Christmas. It's Christmas this, Christmas that. My wife calls me the Grinch. I like Christmas. It gives you that good feeling, especially now. As I have one kid. If we have multiple kids, they get older. I'm sure that makes it so much more fun. That whole thing, but there's oversaturation of Christmas, and we have Christmas warehouses and the largest Christmas store, and you wait 2 hours to drive through some Christmas lights. Oh my, it's absurd. So yeah, it needs to wait till after Thanksgiving, especially because Thanksgiving is probably my favorite holiday. I think I'm one of the two. I love Thanksgiving food, getting together with family is enjoyable, and just you eat, you start watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in the morning, it's always on in the background, even if you're not really watching it. You start the Lions game, which is always terrible, but you eat sometime during that, and then you kind of sit down on the couch ready for the Cowboys game, and as the game's going on, you get the leftovers, you're snacking on stuff, kind of dozing off on the couch. I mean, what's better than that? And then eventually, you got the night game, and you fight your way through it, but you're tired because you've ate so much throughout the day. But yeah, I love Thanksgiving. Favorite holiday for sure. And so people, these Christmas people, we'll call them, are not giving Thanksgiving its proper due by doing this.
I agree. Guess we're not going to have a debate. Now, having a small
bash Christmas people.
Yes, I have a small business, so I do understand. I'm already putting up promotions for Christmas stuff because I got bundled. It's that time.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, there is a whole fall aesthetic that we're just missing, right? You go from Halloween, and then you got fall decorations. There's this whole, and it's we're just rub that out for some reason, and my neighbors had professional people put up Christmas lights this week. Like, why? It's
No.
it's
And
November
maybe
14th.
a part of it is maybe a part of it is Texas. Like we don't really get a fall, like as far as weather. Like we
Yeah.
kind of do. We get some of that.
We're in the 2 weeks of fall right now.
Yeah, right. But like our pumpkin patches, the majority of them happen before Halloween, and it's like 95 degrees outside. And so maybe that's a part of it. But I'm with you. Like I saw some Christmas lights. What was this? I think about my mom's neighborhood. Driving through my mom's neighborhood, I was like, "What are we doing?" It was like it was last week, so it's the first full week of November, and we're doing Christmas lights. Yeah, I'm totally with you. I don't get it. Let the seasons have each have their own time, and we just don't do that.
I mean, yeah, we don't celebrate 4th of July. We don't start planning for that in March. Okay, we don't need to, plan for Christmas in November. Let's just get this right. All right, Christmas people, cut it out. And pumpkin spice. Are you a pumpkin spice guy? Have we talked about this?
I'm not a pumpkin really anything fan. Like I like pumpkin bread, it's okay, but like pumpkin pie, I don't really like. Pumpkin spice, anything, I don't really care for, especially like a latte. Not a fan.
I don't mind them. Pumpkin pie, I guess, it's okay. I like pumpkin pie. I'm not going to go out of one way to get a pumpkin spice. I've tried it before, but it's black coffee, please.
Yeah, I mean, if I get a latte, it's like vanilla. Like that's about the extent of my flavor in coffee. Which
so far,
surprising, I'm sure, with me. I guess Adam, he's afraid of us attacking his nachos. Is he Canada too good for us?
It appears so. I've got no.
Man,
I will get on to him because we had been talking throughout the weeks.
Nick hates it should be about Canada.
Yeah.
I've never been to Canada, so I can't say that. But I mean, I guess I should.
Well,
what's missing on his nachos? So I can be ready when we talk about this. What's missing on his nachos? I haven't noticed this.
So it looks very good. They're very photogenic nachos. Let me pull them up here. Let me see. I'll try to describe them to you. It's already snowing in Newfoundland, so he's got all the pictures of snow. Maybe they're snowed out. Maybe he's snow. Let me see. Hold on. Live coverage of me scrolling through somebody's Twitter timeline. You only get this kind of quality on the Well Below Average podcast. Okay.
That's true.
So they look good. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the cheese needs to be melted. It looks more like a salad on chips.
Okay. He's got the jalapenos. It looks like some pico on there.
Yeah, looks good. Maybe some little green onions and cilantro.
I love cilantro. Is that like some corn on there as well?
Oh, no, that's little bell peppers.
Okay, like yellow bell pepper.
Yeah, yellow and orange bell peppers. Got the ground beef.
I'm not sure I feel about that. I don't see any like guac or salsa or sour cream.
No.
Gonna get kind of dry there.
But the cheese, the cheese is like lightly melted. That's what gets me. Like, it's like he hit it with like a heat gun real quick.
Did you ever? And this is like very peak, late elementary, early middle school.
I think I already know what you're gonna ask.
Did you ever do like the tortilla chips on a plate? Just drench them in cheese and throw it in the microwave for however long.
I'll still do that every now and again.
I have done that. I'll admit I've done that the past year, maybe even 6 months. Not a bad snack. Although you've got to be careful because and this is with any nacho, you just put it on the top, you're getting a bunch of chips. Like you got to layer it.
So my stepdad used to make on a cookie sheet. He would lay out. He would do the same thing, but he would do them in the oven, and he would make sure the cheese was real, and he would put them on bake it for 15 minutes. Like, if he had ever had to cook dinner, that's what you got. He was putting tortilla chips and shredded cheese, baking it for 15 minutes, setting it on the counter. Help yourself.
Yeah, nachos. I enjoy nachos quite a bit, but you got to be careful. You gotta build it right. It's the worst when you go to like a restaurant and they just plop like a big thing of guac or sour cream like right in the middle. You're like, how this doesn't help, and then you end up with one chip that's like just sour cream or whatever's on there. Yeah, so they'll get you if you're not careful. But yeah, those quality nachos and quality picture too, Adam. But
Yeah.
you know, we have some. You know, being in Texas, I feel like we have a lot of quality nacho opinions.
I've taken to put black beans on my nachos lately. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't hate that. I also, from time to time, like refried beans on my nachos.
Okay, yeah.
Now they can get kind of messy, so if you're not trying to, you don't want to be messy, but yeah, I'm not gonna hate on many nachos. I also like chicken nachos from time to time rather than beef. Not bad.
Yeah,
we spent 10 minutes talking about nachos. So yeah, I'm a fan.
All right. Well, last thing before we get out, I'm thinking Adam's not going to join us, even if he does. Yeah, whatever. Sports, because we are sports.
I don't want to talk about sports today, Adam. You can handle this portion of the show.
So we have some scores to go over. NFL Week 10. We Kansas City.
I don't
is
even
playing...
remember how I did on my picks. Let me my picks for this week. Okay, I got. Dang, I actually did. I was my worst week of my well below average picks. I was. I believe I was one. Well, I don't know what the Titans. If the Titans won by 3 or not. I think I was.
No, they won by 2.
3.
They won by 2. Yeah.
I was 1-3 today. So don't listen to me. Of course, like before, you know.
Watch his videos on Thursdays, but don't listen.
Yeah, watch them and then do the opposite. Clearly, because I had a rough week. Steelers tied the Lions, so that was good.
They didn't lose.
Oh my gosh, it was the worst football game I've ever watched.
Goff had 93 yards. Is that what I saw?
Yeah, it was so bad. The Cowboys, I didn't watch any of the game because it was the same time as the Steelers game, but they killed the Falcons.
Yeah,
that was a bounce back effort.
29 points in the second quarter, and then.
Yeah. One thing this NFL season is like proving is like what good teams are there? Like there's no dominant team. The Bucs lost today to the football team. The Cowboys laid an egg against the Broncos. Like the Rams, have gotten beat by the Titans. The Bills they looked better today, but have looked bad at times. I mean, go down the list. Like there's not.
Carolina beat Arizona.
Yeah,
pretty handily. Yeah.
And Cam Newton has played somewhat well, which is crazy. The Patriots steamrolled the Browns, which was nice to see. Like the Patriots, a little bit scary, kind of working their way back. Like they're playing the Bills in that division. There's a lot of parity this year, which is what I love about the NFL. So I think the playoffs are setting up to be very good. The Packers shut out the Seahawks.
Well, Phillies blew out Denver. The Eagles blew out Denver in Denver.
Yeah, that was like what their third win. I think the rest of the season is going to be really good. What I think is going to end up happening is like the playoff teams are really going to separate from the non-playoff teams. Like it kind of feels that way. I don't think there's going to be near as much in the hunt. When they put the column of like division, wild card in the hunt, it's like 8 teams deep. I don't think we're going to have that, but it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be an enjoyable back half of the year.
Yeah.
Except for the Steelers, we're going to be on the treadmill of mediocrity for the next decade. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, I think that tie is going to do enough to make you 9-7-1, and you're going to sneak into the playoffs.
Gosh,
and then get the 22nd pick.
So here's my, Aaron Rodgers, kind of a jerk, which we already knew. I don't think he's going to leave Green Bay, but sneaky name under the radar for me, Russell Wilson. Rumors that he's been unhappy in Seattle. Like Mike Tomlin has probably, I think, although he's corny as crap, real good football player. Although I think now what I'm convincing myself, roller coaster of emotions. Like, I've never thought the Steelers were good. Like, I don't like they might make the playoffs. Like, they might have a winning record, but I don't think they're any good. So I've got to think, like, what's the best case scenario? And the best case scenario for me is that they miss the playoffs but are competitive, get like somewhat a middle of the road pick, and then end up with one of these quarterbacks like from college, because like the quarterbacks, at least the early, and we'll get into this way more as we get closer to the draft, obviously, but the quarterbacks are not, they're not like the top of the class like they typically are. And so one of these quarterbacks, gets picked in the middle of the first round, and they just end up getting the right guy, and he ends up being their franchise quarterback. Maybe not year one, but after that. That's, at least for me, best case scenario. But yeah, today was terrible. It was awful.
Yeah, it was interesting. Detroit didn't lose. Obviously, they tied.
Yeah.
I made sure to tweet about that.
Oh man,
I don't
even want to think about it. It was rough.
Yeah, I mean, being a Cowboys fan, I really thoroughly enjoyed that game. It was kind of boring in the second half, because you could tell Atlanta was completely defeated. What was it the announcer said? Mm-hmm. It's like video game, like, player 2 has left the match. They were an autopilot,
playing on easy.
Yeah, and Dallas was just whatever. They scored one touchdown. You could tell they had the backups in the fourth quarter. Cooper Rush came out, and so third string running back was there. It was definitely, and Atlanta still couldn't score on them. So NFL is a crazy place, and we'll keep going there. And Rangers. You heard any talk about the Texas Rangers big off-season plans? I'm hearing a lot of stuff from writers and such.
People say they're going to keep spending money, so maybe they actually will. I could care less until they actually do it, to be frank. I can't leave the show. Maybe you're going to mention this. The Texas lost to Kansas at home. You think, is Steve Sarkisian going to lose his job after one season?
I don't know. They fired Charlie Strong for losing to Kansas. That was in Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lot that needs to go on, and I don't think they're going to fire him. But I think you're going to see what happened to Strong and to what was his name? Herman. I think you're going to see the administration start stepping in and dictating his hires, and I don't know what's up with Texas. They need to get this figured out before they go in the SEC, and they're sitting there scraping the bottom with Vanderbilt.
Yeah, it was a rough showing.
OU loses to Baylor. I think essentially they're out of the playoff picture, because Bama was already way ahead of them with one loss when OU was undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what to think there. I think Bama has to lose 3 times, at least twice, to not be in the playoff, which kind of stinks.
Okay. Ohio State's sort of the same way. Like, the committee loves Ohio State. They love Alabama. They like money, TV ratings, that kind of thing. But we'll see. Georgia is far and away the best team in the country, I think. So
yeah,
I'm just pretty sports sad for the day. That's all.
Interesting sports topic if you want to talk about real quick before we leave. Deion Sanders did an interview with Texas Christian University here in Fort Worth.
I would be shocked if he got that job. Also, I'd be shocked if he took it. I think he wants to be in a historically black college and university. Like he said very, very vocally, like wants to be a part of that. That's where he's coaching. Has made that program fairly relevant. Also, I saw a video this weekend. He was like in a wheelchair, like a power wheelchair. Did you see this? He like tweeted it. He was like, so proud of these kids or something about his team. And he was in like a power wheelchair that like people who can't walk use. I don't know what the deal was there. Maybe it wasn't him, but I'm pretty sure it was. I think it's on his Twitter account. Unless I got duped there, but really, really threw me off.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. And I agree. Like it makes more sense than like Kellen Moore had been rumored. Why would Kellen Moore do that? He could probably get an NFL job in the next couple of years, if not next year. But why would they interview him, and why would he take the interview if there wasn't some interest?
Yeah, that's fair. I think that job, it'll be really interesting. Replacing Gary Patterson, who is a legend, but for the past 5 years, they haven't been all that great. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Well, interesting local stuff. Well, it's been a good episode. We'll try to get Adam Reed on next week, possibly. We'll have to put him in the penalty box for not showing up. But anything else before we get out?
No, that's it. I think I'm gonna turn into a zombie now after my booster. So next week, zombie on the show.
Zombie Nick, and hopefully Adam Reed. So we'll see you again. Stay above average.
God, that man is well below average.